Hello viewers, welcome to Ask Me in Tutorial. This is a part 2 series of MongoDB tutorials. In this video, we are going to learn how to configure your MongoDB in Webstorm IDE. Webstorm is a popular IDE which supports multiple frameworks like AngularJS, Node.js, HTML, CSS, Sass, CoffeeScript, even a MongoDB also. This is one of the best IDE from JetBrains. There are many benefits of using Webstorm IDE as it supports version control integration like SVN, Git, etc. It also helps you to debug and trace your code if there are any errors. It makes your task and life easier when it comes to a coding. There are many other features of using Webstorm IDE, but the topic is not that. Let's go ahead and see how to configure MongoDB with Webstorm IDE. So the first thing I have to do here is I have to go ahead and download MongoDB plugin, and then I can start work with MongoDB. So in order to download a plugin, you can press Ctrl Alt S, which first thing is you have to go to settings. In order to go to settings, you can click on file menu and then you go to settings, or just press the shortcut key Ctrl Alt S. So in the settings, navigate to plugins and then search for MongoDB. So there is no plugins found because I have not installed anything. So in order to install, you have to click on search in repositories. So once you click on the search in repository, it searches the repository and you can go ahead and install the Mongo plugin. Click on install. Once the installation is finished, it will ask for the restart of IDE in order to work properly. Just hit restart Webstorm. This will go in and then click on apply. This will actually go ahead and restart your Webstorm IDE. So once the IDE is restarted, you can go ahead and then configure the MongoDB server here. So in order to configure the MongoDB server, you have to first go ahead and use MongoExplorer. You'll find MongoExplorer in Views, Tools window and MongoExplorer. So when you first install the MongoExplorer, it will say that no Mongo server available. You may use settings icon to add the configuration. So let's click on this and add the configuration. So it is asking a path to MongoShell. So if you have installed Mongo in a default location, then you have to go ahead and browse the mongo.exe file. So in order to do that, I am going to click on these three dots, which will bring up the Explorer window, and then I'm going to get the path. So it will be in program files, MongoDB, .2 bin, and here is my mongo.exe. So this is the path of mongo.exe. Click on apply. But this just is nothing but we are actually giving the path to MongoShell. There is one more set of configuration which we have to make. So it says still the no server configuration set has been provided. Click on this plus mark or the plus button in order to add a new server or in order to add a new Mongo server. Give the label. Label is nothing but you can also call it as an instance name. So I'm going to give local as a label name here, and then I leave the other things as a default settings. If you have not changed your MongoDB port or anything, you can just leave it as a default settings. So just click on OK, click on apply and click on OK. So you can find there is a local instance which is already here. You can right click and then click on connect to this server. But if I hit this button, it will not connect to my MongoDB. The reason why it will not connect is I have not started the service. In order to connect to the MongoDB, the first thing you have to go ahead and do is you have to start the service. So what I am going to do here is I am going to go to the folder where I have installed the MongoDB, and through command prompt I am going to start the MongoDB service. So open the Explorer, navigate to your Mongo installation path, server 3.2 bin. So I am going to open a command prompt or a command window here, and then I am going to type mongodb.exe. What it basically does is it will start the Mongo service. Hit enter and you can see that it is waiting for the connection on port 27017. So during the configuration in our IDE, we saw that we have left the default port as 27017. So now once we have started the service, we can go ahead and connect to our local database. So right click and click on connect to the server and you can see that it is actually connected to the local server. So how do we run the Mongo commands in the Webstorm IDE? So select the database. You can actually find there is a MongoShell on top of it. Hit the MongoShell and you can see the MongoShell window. So this is the MongoShell window where you are going to write Mongo commands and you can execute the Mongo commands through this shell. So the first command which we wrote in the tutorial 1 was db. It was listing the local database name which is in use. So if I type db and then execute this command, this should return me a result local. Let's see that. db. This is the execute button. I'm going to click this and it is displaying the result as local. So currently local database is in use. And also you can see it is connected to localhost 27017/local. So what are the advantages of using MongoShell? MongoShell lets you to run multi-line commands. So what is multi-line commands here? So when I just hit db and enter, it is not going to execute anything. It will ask for more commands. I can write n number of commands here and later once I have written the commands, I can actually execute the bunch of commands by clicking on this play button. Or alternatively, I can even do Control Enter as a shortcut key. So in the next tutorial, we are going to do some of the MongoDB operations such as creating a new database, deleting a new database, creating a tables, inserting the value into tables and other things. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thank you. Have a good day.